And America is respected again, respected like never before. We're respected again. We're no longer the laughingstock that gets taken advantage by every country, including, by the way, our allies, who in many cases take a bigger advantage than our enemies. I will tell you that. They take big advantage, but not so much anymore. We're winning like never before. Washington Democrats keep on losing their minds. They hate the fact that we're winning. We're winning big. We're winning, winning, winning. And that is why millions of registered Democrat voters are leaving their party to join our movement. They're joining our great Republican Party in droves. You see it all the time. I just spoke to some of your leaders. He said, this is unbelievable what's happening. This is unbelievable. You know, there have never been rallies like that. Sleepy Joe Biden the other day had 68 people. And now they have a new member of the crew, Mini Mike. Mini Mike. No boxes. We call them no boxes. And I hear he's getting pounded tonight. You know he's in a debate. I hear they're pounding him. He spent $500 million so far. And I think he has 15 points. It just came out. Hey, fake news, how many points does he have right now? 15? They won't tell you the truth. They won't tell you the truth. MSDNC is worse than CNN. They're owned by a company called Comcast. You can have Comcast, a bunch of phonies, but MSDNC is worse than CNN, and they're all pretty bad. No, they just came out with a poll. They just came out with a poll a little while ago. Mini Mike was at 15, and Crazy Bernie was at 31. That's a lot. And Mini Mike just spent $500 million. But the DNC is going to take it away from Bernie again, and that's okay because we don't care who the hell it is. We're going to win. We're going to win. We have to. Tell you, these crooked politicians, they really took away 3 years from us, because despite the fact, and nobody disputes it, that we've done more in 3 years with the tax cuts and regulation cuts and the military and the choice and everything. We've done more than any administration in history. We've done more, but think of it. Think of it. We did it with phony witch hunts. We did it with the impeachment hoax over our head the whole time. We did it under circumstances that should never, ever happen to another president again. True. But with your energy and enthusiasm this November, we're going to take back the House, we're going to hold the Senate, and we are going to keep the White House. So we're thrilled to be joined tonight by some of the best, greatest, I love them, leaders in America, Arizona leaders. I want to start, come on up here, Governor Doug Ducey. up here, Doug. Come on up here. Also, I call them warriors because they fought like hell. They worked with our future Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. But we have some of your great warriors. Paul Gosar, come up here, Paul, come up here. Andy Biggs, head of the Freedom Caucus. Andy Biggs. David Schweikert, David, come up here. A big star. You know about that, Doug? She became this monster star. She looked with such indignation at the other side, such disgust. Debbie Lesko. He'll be running someday. You said your grandson. Wow. He'll be running someday. Arizona Senate President. You know who that is, right? Karen Fan. Come up, Karen. Arizona House Speaker Rusty Bowers. Vice President of the Navajo Nation, Myron Lizier. And Arizona Republican Party State Chair, Kelly Ward. Kelly Ward, come up. And we have a lot of other leaders, but we got to get back to speaking. Do me a favor, before I introduce a very special guest, I'd like to ask your great governor, you know, he won like by 16 points. It wasn't even a contest. And I'm very competitive. I want to beat him. Will you please get out to the polls so we can beat him? But he's tough to beat. Doug Ducey, say a couple of words, please. Please.
Mr. President, we are going to keep Arizona red in 2020. We are going to return President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence to the White House. We are going to return Martha McSally to the United States Senate. And we are going to keep our Republican majorities in our congressional delegation and our state chambers. Mr. President, thank you for what you have done for the cause of life. For what you have done for our economy and reducing regulations, and for what you have done for the United States Supreme Court. We're looking forward to working with you for 4 more years.
These are great people, great people. Thank you very much. So, you know, before I introduce somebody very important to all of us, to me, also I have to say with us tonight is a Arizona hockey great, a friend of mine. He's a great golfer, too. He's a tough golfer. I'll tell you, he's tough to beat. He's tough as hell. And if you beat him in golf, he'll try and beat you physically. He doesn't care. He was the toughest hockey player. You know, he was one of these guys, he could beat you one way, and if he couldn't, he just beat them up, right? He'd beat them up. And he's a friend of mine. He's a great guy, Jeremy Roenick. Thank you, Jeremy. He's a winner. We're also joined by Donald Jr. and Kimberly, and they're great people. Great. And RNC co-chairman Tommy Hicks, and RNC finance chairman, also happens to own a team called the Chicago Cubs. I shouldn't tell you that. Todd Ricketts. So finally, it's my great honor to introduce a tremendous person, a great fighter pilot. A lot of people don't know that. She's a great fighter pilot. And a warrior Senate. She helped us so much during the impeachment hoax. She didn't wobble one bit. Martha McSally. You know, Martha's tough on the border. And she's working with me to strengthen our military still further and lower your prescription drug prices, and we're making a lot of progress. But her opponent, I have to say this, Martha, a guy named Mark Kelly. Even the Democrats don't like him much. He wants to raise your taxes, open your borders, give away free health care to illegal immigrants, and he wants to obliterate your Second Amendment. He wants to get rid of it. The radical liberal Democrats from California and Massachusetts, they're pouring money into Kelly's campaign because they know that he's a rubber stamp for crying Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck, and nervous Nancy Wacko Pelosi. And we're going to have a new speaker. But that's why Martha has my complete and total support and endorsement, and we have to all get out there and make sure that Martha McSally, she's a warrior. Let me tell you, you don't know, we don't know, people don't know people. This one is tough as hell, and that's what we need. Martha McSally.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome back to the great state of Arizona. Let's give it up. I just want to say I have a message for the liberal hack media in the back. Arizona is going to vote in November to keep America great and send President Trump back to the White House. And Mr. President, I want you to know I was right there on the floor in that amazing State of the Union address that you gave. It brought tears to my eyes at many places. You were honoring our veterans. You were reuniting families. It was extraordinary. But I heard your call. You said to put a bill on your desk that's going to lower prescription drug prices, and I'm going to introduce a bill next week to get that done, to help all Americans lower the cost of drugs. Arizona is on fire thanks to the leadership of President Trump with Governor Doug Ducey and the Republicans in the Senate and the House. People are living amazing. We are getting people off the sidelines. The economy is doing so great. We have so much more to do, but there's so much at stake. My opponent said he would vote to convict and remove you from office and remove you from the 2020 ballot. What is that all about? And then he said last week that he would support Bernie Sanders if he's the nominee and his socialist agenda. So Arizona is tired of investigations. They're tired of obstruction. They don't want socialism. They love our freedoms. And Mark Kelly is flying on Bernie Sanders' wing, and I'm flying on your wing, President Trump, and we're going to win in November.